Okay, so day 3 of the show. Brought my helicopter today to show off, and I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to go and take a look around at all the other toys that are on show. Let's go.
Yeah, so it's the world's first autonomous underwater drone. It's entirely wireless, so it can follow you underwater. It knows where you are. You can give it orders with small remotes. So, you know, if you want him to film what you see, it can come back to you. It can do a 360 around you. So,
so basically like a drone, like a Mavic.
But exactly.
But underwater.
Underwater.
Nice.
And really it's the world first because there are ROVs, so remotely operated drones that are cabled. This one isn't.
Right.
And really it's a world exclusivity in fact, because this is the first time that we are showing this design to the world. We just received it last week.
Can you tell me the specs? Is it a 4K camera?
So it's a GoPro, I would say. So you just have to put your GoPro right there, and so it's 4K. And there is also real-time tracking camera, so it knows where the diver is at all times.
Okay. So regardless of where the GoPro is pointing.
Exactly.
Right,
and you can also plug it and control it from your boat.
Okay, so you get a cable.
Yeah,
you plug it
but
in
it's
and you can...
optional.
Okay.
It's entirely wireless, and you can also control it from your boat.
Oh, brilliant. And what is the retail on these?
The retail price?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a few versions. The first one, standard, is $2,700.
Okay.
And the second one, the premium one, it's $3,600.
Okay, so it's kind of in line with the prices of Inspire 2.
Exactly.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so here's the SeaBob. This is what I was being pointed out on a few of the yachts. So it's very popular. That drone thing, that is a cool invention. I'm sure that will take off because not only is it a good idea, but it's also actually reasonably cheap. For a yacht show, it's probably the cheapest thing. In fact, a burger and fries at the yacht show probably cost more than that drone. But anyway, this is the aquamarine SeaBob. And this is for the people who like swimming but are lazy, like me. You just grab hold of this and it drags you around. This is the U-Boat Works Sea Explorer Submersible. It has to be quite simply the biggest unnecessary extravagance at the entire show. However, when money is no object, does that matter? The Sea Explorer seats 1 pilot and 2 passengers. It can cruise at 3 knots, can reach a depth of up to 300 meters, which is 3 football pitches deep, and can stay under for up to 16 hours. And the cost to go under the sea in a giant goldfish bowl?
This one is 2.35 million. So,
wow. So what happens if you're down there and like you got 1 pilot, right, 2 passengers?
Yeah.
So what happens if the pilot passes out?
Okay, so it's the worst case scenario, of course, but then there's a dead man switch. So after 10 minutes you
would come up anyway.
Tanks will blow and you come to the surface.
Okay, this is when absolutely nothing else will do. This is an AW169, 4.5 ton class twin turbine helicopter. Maximum range 820 kilometers, or 4.5 hours. Top speed is 300 kilometers an hour. I was going to order one, but I'm disappointed. There's an 18-month delivery on it, and it's 8 million. So, okay, so this is on this helicopter here. This is a pitot-static tube. This is how they measure airspeed. Obviously, you don't have a wheel spinning, so you can't measure the speed through the wheel. So they use a pitot-static tube. Air goes through the hole in the front, and air pressure is measured, and then that's how they work out the speed. So these are critical pieces of equipment, and if you get a problem with this being blocked, then you get false readings in the cabin. And this has actually brought down aircraft before because the pilots have misinterpreted what's going on outside. There was a commercial airline that crashed because the aircraft had been stored in a hangar, and these hadn't been covered. And they believe that some insects got inside and made a nest inside, blocked the pitot tube, and when the aircraft took off, they got bad readings from the equipment. They have one on each side, just in case, so they have redundancy, but the pilots misinterpreted, and the captain overrode the first officer in that particular incident, and they assumed that both of them were faulty, and the airplane stalled and they dropped out of the sky. But that's an exception. But this is this is basically how they measure airspeed, and these are heated. So in extreme weather, they heat them so they don't get frozen up with ice as well. And this boat has 1,050 horsepower. Gatti Veyron power. Okay, so these boats here are called the Revert Marine N16. They're 11 meters long and retail at 990,000 euros. I posted a video a while ago called Recovering a Tender James Bond Style, and a lot of people were saying how slow they did it. And well, the reality is that boat is a Reaver. It's one of these boats. So you've seen these are $1 million each. And the old Reavers, the classic Reavers, are worth even more. So that one that was being recovered, very expensive.
Hello, good morning. I'm Marcus Hess, and I'm here to actually present you the PAL-V Liberty. PAL-V actually stands for Personal Air and Land Vehicle, and Liberty is the name of our model that we are putting on the market beginning of 2019. It's actually a flying car. It's a two-seater side-by-side. It has 2 engines, and it drives about 170 kilometers max on the road, as well as 180 kilometers up in the air. It's based on a gyroplane principle. As you can see, it's got the rotor folded on top of the vehicle. So once you want to start flying, you actually drive to the next small airfield. You unfold the blades, you push a button, then the mast raises, and you're ready to go after you've done a small pre-flight check. You still have to do a little bit of manual labor. It's about 3 minutes, but the raising of the mast is done by a button. So you actually do push a button, and then hydraulically the mast raises, and okay, you're ready to go.
So now we've got jet skis for the family. So anything's available if you pay enough money. And I've never seen a jet ski designed for a 5-year-old girl before, but there you go. So I don't know what you do when she grows out of it in a year. Well, they'll just buy another one. And then we've got the famous jet boots. I've seen people doing this, and I'm sure it's a lot more fun to do it than it is to watch somebody do it, but basically they just fire themselves up in the air with jets of water coming out. So this wasn't here yesterday. F12 TDF, in case you were wondering. I have, however, fallen in love. I've seen them so many times on YouTube and on TV, etc. This is the first time I've ever actually been up close to one 570S Spider. And I'm in love. Absolutely amazing. It's clear I could have continued walking around the yacht show, admiring endless lines of tenders and toys, made for water and for the roads. But just like that, the clock struck 1800 hours, and in the time-honoured tradition, blowing the ship's whistle signified the end of the 2017 Monaco Yacht Show.